Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday, y'all. Welcome to Amplify Your Brilliance Monday as I give you the tools to activate your faith as you clarify your purpose to start and or grow your business. I'm beyond excited to be here with you another Monday. So a couple favors. Number one, as you come in, tell me hello. Say, hey girl, hey, right? Those of you that watch me live, even if you come back and watch the replay, still tell me hello, right? Tell me where you're from. If you're watching this live on YouTube on my Facebook page, then I can see who you are. If you're in some other place besides my Facebook page, I can't see who you always are, right? So make sure you say your name, all that fun stuff, right? So, hey, Renarda, I see you. You missed me last week. Oh, hey, who's that in Brockton? I can't see your name. So, with that said, I'm beyond excited to be here with you for another week. So, this is a continuation from our last 2 weeks. So, over the last few weeks, I've really been talking to you from the same subject, and I'm kind of growing on it. So, 2 weeks ago, and if you missed it, by the way, you can always go back and watch repeats of past episodes. Let me put it up here so you can see where to go. On my YouTube channel, it's there, nrjnetwork.com. You can always go back and watch all the episodes. So this is now episode number 8. So this is the 8th week of the new year. Can y'all believe that this is the 8th week of 2021, right? So you can go back and watch them all, right? The other thing is I give you homework, so I'll tell you where to grab that. But understand, it's one thing to get information. It's one thing to be motivated or inspired. But motivation and inspiration does nothing if you don't activate it. So I'm always going to give you tools to activate what I share with you. All right. I do that every single solitary week because it's important to me. Hey, Dima. Yes. One of my clients. I should have known that was you when I saw Brockton. Love when I see my clients here. Hey, Nona. I love when I see some of my OGs, my original girls, my girls that are here with me every week. I love when I see y'all. I know we said Happy New Year. I know we said Happy New Year last week, right? So anyway, y'all, listen. I always want to make sure you can move whatever I share with you forward because inspiration does nothing but give you hope. And hope without activation is hallucination. You've been in my camp, you've heard me say this over and over again, and I don't need you hallucinating. I need you activating because there are people that need that gift inside of you. So, with that said, I'm continuing a conversation that we've had over the last few weeks. So, 2 weeks ago, the conversation was the script is key to the entire process. So, I brought a conversation about vision boards to life in a different way, I hope, right? Because we hear about vision boards all the time. And so, to be honest with you, I'm sick of hearing about vision boards. But I really talked about manifesting and how you activate God in the middle of that vision board. So if you didn't see that episode, go back and watch it. Then last week, our conversation was it's like a boomerang. And I'm looking at my YouTube channel, by the way, y'all, because I make up these titles. Listen, whatever God drops in my spirit on Monday morning, all week long, he pours into me. And then whatever I feel Monday is whatever the title is. So today is what you going to do with it, right? So after I gave you the tools to make sure your vision is updated, if you've never done a vision board, right? And really looking at how God was intentional with 2020 and gave us time to get clear and sit our butts down and get a vision. Because some of y'all have been functioning from blurry vision. Get that whole conversation in week 5, week 6. Then last week, I taught you about it's being like a boomerang and what you put out comes back to you. So as we continue this conversation, really, I want you to think about this as I'm going to drop this on you. What do you and Michael Jordan have in common? Hmm. So here's the thing that I think is interesting with Michael Jordan's story. And those of you that haven't heard this part, listen, we know about him being a phenomenal basketball player. We know about him playing baseball and setting records and doing things, being the GOAT, right? But before he even started his basketball career, he had a dream to play basketball. He had a vision. And that vision got stepped on when he tried out I think it was his sophomore year, and he did not make the team. How many of you guys would have quit? Like, okay, my vision doesn't work because I didn't make it. I'm not good enough. I'm not a good enough basketball player. Mm-mm. Michael Jordan did not let that deter him. What he did was every day, the summer between that sophomore year and his junior year, he practiced every single day. Now, I haven't met Michael Jordan. I read this in an article. He perfected his game. He knew what he really, really wanted, so he put in the work. So many of you, God gives all of us gifts. He gives us all what I call DNA, distinct natural ability. He gives it to you at birth. So that vision that you have is usually tied to your DNA. The way you talk about it and the way you activate it is what you put out there. But the third piece that I'm going to talk to you about this week is what you're going to do with it. Because God gives you the gift, but He's not going to activate it. So the desire that's in your heart, just like Michael Jordan had this desire to play basketball, he knew he was meant to do it. He wasn't going to let anybody stop him from going after his dream. He got determined and he got focused. So what will you do when you get a little determination, a little focus, right? So as I think about this, it makes me think about there's a parable in the Bible called the parable of talents. Now it's in Matthew, the 25th chapter. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, right? I'm gonna give you a summary. First of all, it's interesting that the verse is called the story is called the parable of the talents. The whole verse, by the way, if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes, okay, right in front of me. So the whole story is Matthew 25:14 through 30. I'm not getting ready to read about 15, 16 Bible verses right now. So go read the whole story. I'm going to give you the Cliff Note version. So there was an employer and he gave his employees, by the way, it says servant. So when I read a Bible verse in a minute, you can hear me say servant. I don't want to say servant. I'm going to say there was an employer who gave his employees, he was going out of town. And so to one employee, he gave, I believe it was 3 talents or money. To the second, he gave 2. And to the last one, he gave 1. And when he returned back, the first one had invested and made 3 times. The second one invested it and made 2 times. The last one did nothing. And so here's what he said back to the 2 that invested and grew that gift that he gave to them. He said to them, and this is Matthew 25:21, well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. And so when you think about Michael Jordan and when he in his career, he took his gift, he invested and grew his gift. He didn't settle for good enough. He didn't settle for complacency. One of my favorite quotes that I just found recently is deliberate mediocrity is a sin. And some of you guys are settling. You've been sitting in good enough. You have not been pushing yourself. And you've been being like the third employee that did nothing. And here's what his boss said back to him. This is Matthew 25:26 through 29. He said, and I quote, by the way, this is a New King James Version, but let me go this way. Look, y'all, I'm a little seasoned, so I have to get in the right light so I can see. So it says, but his Lord answered and said to him, you wicked and lazy servant, you knew that I reap where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed. So you ought to have deposited my money with the bankers, and at my coming, I would have received back my own with interest. Therefore, take the talent from him, right? He's telling somebody, take the talent from him, take it from him, and give it to him who has 10 talents. So in other words, from the third employee that did nothing, he say, take that from him and give it to the first one that had 10, that doubled it. And then he said, for to everyone who has more will be given, and he will have abundance. But from him who does not have, even what he has will be taken away. In other words, him who does nothing with what I give to him or her. So again, my question is, what you gonna do with it? Are you gonna be like Michael Jordan and not settle for good enough? Or are you gonna sit in complacency? Now, I know because you're here with me, whether you're here live, you watching replay, that means that you're one of my girls that will not sit in complacency. You don't settle. You always put the extra with the ordinary. That moves you into extraordinary. And what I know for sure is if I want to live and abundantly above all I can ask or think, it's going to take me doing some abundantly above all things, right? So I'm going to give you the 3 steps that you must take to go after the next level for you. See, if you want 2021 to be bigger than you've ever seen before, you got to know God gave you the talent already. It's already in you. He's not asking you to do anything with anything that you don't have. Now you've got to be willing to grow it. So number 1, the question is, will you commit to grow it? So listen, you can either be interested or committed. Interested mean I only do what's convenient. When you're interested, you only do what's convenient. I'm not going to go out of my way. I'm not going to work hard for it. But when you're committed, nothing will stop you. You move every other option off the table. Listen, Michael Jordan was like, oh, it's not an option for me not to play basketball. It's just like Beyonce, who, if you've been in my tribe, you know I love me some Beyonce, right? When I think about the fact that when she started her group, first of all, yes, I'm committed. Come on, Nona. By the way, anybody else is committed, I want to hear you naming and claiming it out loud. Remember, I talked about the boomerang. What you put out comes back to you. You better name it. I'm committed. Listen, I come here every Monday. Committed. So listen, Beyonce, at 9 years old, she started practicing every day, y'all. You guys read the story. You guys know. But after they got their first record deal, it took her 10 years to get a record deal. I see you, Renata. Renarda. Girl, I always mess up your name, but you know I know who you are. She says I'm committed, right? So even after they got there, took their 10 years to get their record deal. Two of the members of Destiny's Child left. Two, right? Now, I don't know how many of you would have stayed after all the rumors and innuendo that came through of all the bad things that were happening. So many girl groups break up over all of that, but not Miss Beyonce. Oh, she did not. She was not going to let anybody take her purpose, her dream, her desire from her. And so they got two additional members of Destiny's Child. I wasn't going to tell the story, but I got to pull this up because this is so powerful, right? And even when she got two more, left. Again, how many people would have stayed committed after that? Right? And so I want to pull this up. After all of that happened, she wrote a song called Survival. You guys have heard this song, but have you really looked at the lyrics? Let me see if this pulls up the lyrics. I'm a survivor. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to work harder. I'm a survivor. I'm going to make it. I will survive. Keep on surviving. Now you can read all of it, right? Thought I couldn't breathe without you. I'm inhaling. You thought I couldn't see without you. Perfect vision. You thought I couldn't last without you, but I'm lasting. You thought that I would die without you, but I'm living. hmm Thought that I would fail without you, but I'm on top. Thought I would be over by now, but I won't stop. Thought that I would self destruct, but I'm still here. Even in my years to come, I'm still going to be here. Are you a survivor? Are you giving up? Are you just going to be interested in that thing, or are you going to do whatever it takes? God put something so special in you. All you got to do is water it, which is to make a plan. So part of your activation work this week, by the way, every week, this week is 3 pages. Why? Because I'm giving you some great tools. All right, Renata, you better go ahead and quote something I say all the time. I'm going to say it. This is what she says. Look, I'm going to put it on the screen. It's good. Right? Convenience and conviction can't reside together. It can never coexist. If God is convicting something inside of you, how do you think it's going to be comfortable? It's not going to be convenient. God doesn't come at you checking your bank account. He's not checking your bank account. He's checking your faith. He's seeing, will you trust in him? So I got all kind of stuff coming up here now, right? Will you trust in him? Will you do what it takes? Are you going to only do what you can see? Again, abundantly above all that you could ask or think. If it's bigger than you can ask or think, it's bigger than what you can see. I need y'all to get that. Right. I love that y'all are out in yourselves. Renata said, I've been living in survival mode. Right. So now is your time to make a plan. So in this week's activation, and by the way, I always put your activation work in my Facebook group. Right. So the Facebook group, how you join, it's thebrilliancetribe.com. And let me tell you, you have to answer questions. If you don't answer those questions, my team does not admit you to the group. And can I tell you why I ask questions? For number one, it gives me data. So the answers to the questions really make up the things I teach y'all, by the way. And it lets me know who you are and what you're up to and where you're stuck and where you need support. So it behooves you to answer the question so I can bless you and support you and coach you and teach you. That's where I get these conversations from. So as soon as we end, we're going to put this week's activation work in it. And it's 3 pages. Why? Because I'm helping you make a plan. So this is a continuation, even from the vision board work I gave you, because it's one thing to have a vision board. It's another thing to have a plan. So you got to take the dream, the desire, the things that you really, really want and plan it out, right? My vitamin water. So what will you do with what you want? How will you move it forward? And then when you make your plan, I want you to be really, really clear on what you already have the capacity to do and what's beyond your capacity to do. It doesn't mean that you're not supposed to do it. What it means is that you need to find the support to make it happen. One of my favorite quotes is that it takes a village, and really it takes a village to raise a child. But baby, it takes a village to do everything. It takes a village to start a business. It takes a village to clean my house. Hello, it takes a village to do my hair. Sometimes it depends on the day. So if it takes a village to raise a child, what makes you think if you're doing something you've never done before that you don't need a village around you to support you? Which is why I have a Facebook group. That's part of the village that will support you. But many of you need a coach. And yes, I am a coach. But here's the thing, I'm clear, I'm not everybody's coach. So whether it's me or somebody else, I need you to get clear on the support you need. What's your biggest goal? And what kind of support do you need to move it forward? The more clear you get, the more willing you are to commit to it. Listen, Michael Jordan that summer, if he kept playing basketball the way he was already playing, yeah, he would not have made the team. I'm clear. He had a coach. He had somebody teaching him how to jump shot. He has somebody teaching him how to do the free throws because he did all those things before and it didn't work. So what made it different? He had a coach. So what are you going to do different this year that can move you forward? What are you committed to that you've never done before? How will you invest in you? Listen, we go back to that same story, the parable of the talents. I love that Jesus tells a story. I love that Jesus is a storyteller. Love it, love it, love it, right? If you think about it like this, God is the employer, excuse me, in the story. God invested distinct natural ability in you at birth. When you die and get to go meet Jesus, get to go meet God face to face, is he gonna say, listen, you did not invest the gift, the talent that I put in you? Is he gonna say back to you like the employer said to the employee that did nothing? Is he gonna say to you, let me find that Bible verse again, you wicked and lazy servant, you knew that I reap where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed. You knew you weren't going to get anything because you didn't sow anything. You get what you give. Part of what that boomerang is. So is God going to say to you, listen, go back, baby. You ain't done. You've done a thing with what I gave you. See, I don't want God to say to me, Nicole, girl, bye. You didn't do it. See, I want God to have a great return on his investment in me. The same thing I want for you. That's why I come here every Monday. I'm not getting paid to do these every Monday. My goal is that God says to you, just like he says to me, job well done. I'm proud of you, girl. So what are you going to do? What do you commit to doing so that God will be proud of who you be? So that you invest in the gift God placed in you. Notice that I need support. Yes. So just know this, those of you that are looking to start or grow your businesses, many of you know that I have a 2-day event called Be the Answer. It's coming up in 2 weeks, March 12th and 13th. Those of you that have been hearing about Be the Answer, you're not sure if it's a good fit for you, I'm going to be doing a Q&A session in my Facebook group where I answer questions tomorrow night, 7 p.m. about Be the Answer. So if you're not clear if it's a good fit, just come on over at 7 p.m. Or you can, when I post about it tomorrow, type your questions in there. Okay. And so those of you that know, like you know, that now's your time to take your purpose, get clear on the one thing, the DNA that God has placed in you, how to move it forward into your business. I'm teaching you the 4 strategies and really coaching you. This is not an event where a bunch of people speaking at you. No, 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 no. So I need you to get in a seat. If you know you need support, this is the place that I can support you. It's $247. Right now it's $297. Y'all, some of y'all missed my $100 off. Now the $50 off ends on Friday. And to be quite honest with you, I'm mailing a swag box to your house. So pretty soon we're going to have to cut off registration because I want to make sure I have enough time to get the swag box to you. That swag box has your notebook in it, has a journal in it. Oh, we're going to do the work, y'all. Oh, we're not coming to just listen to Nicole. Listen, I get to coach you. So unlike this, I can't hear you. I can hear you and I can see you, even though it's virtual. You won't be leaving your house. I'll be able to coach you from your living room, your kitchen, your dining room, wherever you want to sit, your bedroom, wherever you want to be. All you need to do is show up. I'm coming to pour all I have into you as my God given purpose. So listen, so I'm giving God a great return on his investment in me. So if that's you, go to betheanswerevent.com, use the code MOVE21. And again, if you're not sure if that's a good fit for you, come on over to my Q&A tomorrow night so you don't miss your $50 off. And listen, we'll be full pretty soon because I keep the room intimate. A handful of women at that event, about 30, 40. I haven't decided how many yet, but I keep it small so I can really coach you and teach you in those 2 days. So with that said, that's our conversation for today. That's our conversation. What you going to do with it? Now that we are 8 weeks into 2021, it's time for you to set that wheel in motion. Listen, even when you're on an airplane and you're getting ready to take off, you got to be on the runway. My question is, are you on the runway, right? Are you on the runway to really take off? Let me see what Renata said. I'm going to do the work. Can't expect new results with old behavior, right? I'm going to be intentional and invest in myself and attend Be the Answer. Girl, woo! So excited. Just know, those of you that come to Be the Answer, understand you're investing in yourself. You're not investing in me. You're investing in a coach that will give you the tools when you attend, yes. But understand that's an investment in the gift God placed in you. And all you got to do is show up. Come ready to be filled up, not with just me. I have a group of women I call my Fab Squad, Fierce Armor Bearers. We've been praying for y'all. They'll be in the virtual room so they can support you as well. I'm the only speaker, coach, teacher, but they will be present. These are all previous clients that are in the work just like you, that knows what it feels like to have a baby called a business that you got to push out. It's not going to be easy, those of you that have birthed a baby. Those of you that have had labor, because I haven't, right? I have phenomenal bonus children, but no labor. Hallelujah. So those of you that know what it's like to push out, oh, your business is the same way. Understand that when you stand in the full power of who God has created you to be, oh, the enemy's going to fight that. Listen, John 10:10 says, I've come that they have life and have it more abundantly. But if you read the first part of that Bible verse, it says the enemy comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. The enemy doesn't want you to live as God's highest and best version of you because he knows it'll bless you and it'll bless all the people that need you. So get committed. Whether you attend Be the Answer or you hire some other coach, I need you to get activated this week by Friday. Oh, I'm challenging you. I am. Because you can't keep sitting on your gift. You can't keep sitting on your gift because at some point, God's going to come back and say, girl, where you at? Where's my gift? Did you invest? Did you grow it? And so that's our conversation for this week. I'm going to drop again your homework will be dropped into our Facebook group, thebrilliancetribe.com. I'll do that as soon as I end. And let me ask you 2 things. Number one, tell me the value you got out of today. Drop it in the comments. I want to know the number one thing you got out of my conversation because I'm not here for me. I'm here for you. If you ever have questions, please post it here. I read every single comment. And literally, what you post really does inform what I teach. Okay. The second thing is if you find any value in anything I share with you on Mondays, can I ask you to do me a favor and share it? See, you help me get in alignment with my God given assignment when you tell other women about this conversation that we have every Monday evening so that I can really hold the space for every woman that I can. I want to serve 1,000,000 women. If I knew 1,000,000 women, I'd already have done that. I'm sure God's number for me is more than 1,000,000. So let's start with 1,000,000 and then we'll go from there. But I really want to coach 1,000,000 women to live out their God given assignment and give them the tools to not just activate it, but to grow it into a 6-figure, 7-figure, a multiple streams of income generating business. So if you know anyone that could benefit, there's a button down here. Those of you that are watching it live, those of you that are watching the replay on YouTube, can you share it, please? So with that, I'll be back next Monday with another Amplify Your Brains Monday. It's always my honor and pleasure and really a blessing to be here with you. So with that said, have a phenomenal rest of your Monday. I'll see you next week for another episode of Amplify Your Brains Mondays.